what would your life look like if you could replace this life with stimming and tantrums and screaming and sleepless nights and picky eating, no eye contact and strange behavior, to a life where you heal yourself, your body, while you're turning your child around so that you can get your life back and get time for yourself and get that bond with your child back? What kind of life would you live if that was possible for you? I want you to imagine that, because I could not imagine that back then because I didn't have the tools that I've now created. And I want you to imagine that possibility for you for a second. And there's a lot of things you probably already know if you are a brave warrior mom like I am, and like so many moms that like to be around me, that you already know that there are no real answers in the established system. You're often just told there's nothing you can do, it's a neurological development disorder, and it's for life. And you probably also know that you need a holistic approach. And I don't know if you know this, but you might have a hunch. Do you know that focusing on one diet or one thing like supplements or diets or tests or symptoms or ABA or detox protocols or any other one-size-fits-all solution does not work long term, especially not for all children? Some children will get worse, some will get better long term, but it's not going to be the full picture that's going to get you to that freedom. And you've already heard of children who has gone from tantrums and screaming and lack of eye contact and picky eating to bonding, health, recovery, healing, and peace. And you're probably wondering, why does it happen to them? What is it that I'm missing in my life and in my journey and in my belief system that hasn't made that possible for me yet? Here's what you probably don't know yet about beliefs and mindset. So even though you know all these things about how important lifestyle and diet changes are, how important it is to really look at the holistic side of things, and that there are things you can do to turn autism around, having the autism turnaround mindset can increase the success rate and the results from any diet and lifestyle change that you make, and prevent conflicts and setbacks. Instead of chasing outside of yourself, looking for the perfect diet, the perfect practitioner, the perfect test, the perfect supplement, you will intuitively know what to do next for your child and cure this what do I do? What do I do? Who do I ask? What do I take? Syndrome that we all suffer from every once in a while. And it will also minimize confusion, and you know how to create a new future for your child instead of depending on others for solutions. That is such a powerless place to be. And I want you to regain that power and take that power back. It belongs to you. It's your birthright. So having the autism turnaround mindset means that you no longer have to yo-yo between feeling like a victim. Oh my God, this happened. It's happened to me. Why did this happen to me? This is so unfair. Who can I blame? How can I treat it? Who caused this? What caused this? And even feeling shameful about it. And feeling like a victim to circumstances and feeling overwhelmed and ready to give up sometimes. And then sometimes have hope that there might be something I can do, and then lose hope, and then get the hope back, and then lose hope. So instead, you'll always know what to do, or what tools to use, and what to do when you feel stuck or when you struggle. And you will eliminate your need for asking questions to find solutions or a way out. And let me just say, the reason why you're struggling is because you've forgotten how powerful you are when it comes to your child and turning this around. So let's dive into the 3 secret pillars to turning autism around. There are 3 different pillars that you need to implement. The first pillar is how you access that state of manifestation and intuitive information. So when you've tried everything and it doesn't work, and you haven't had real results, and you've tried all the tests, you've tried all the diets, you've tried all the OT, you've tried all the ABA, you've tried everything, and you haven't had the results, it is because you are not in the state of healing from a physiological point of view, from an emotional point of view, from a spiritual point of view, but especially when it comes to intuition. That is a state that we are in when we receive information about what is the right thing for me to do, to feed my child, what supplements are good for my child, what tests should I do, what practitioners can I trust. And that's where you are receiving information about what's the next step for my child on this journey. And when you're struggling right now, when you're not seeing results, when you're experiencing setbacks and nothing works, it is a sign not that you need to do more diets and supplements and tests and you haven't found the right practitioner. It's a sign that you need to get back to this state of receiving information and being guided by your intuition. That's when the real answers start to come up for you. If you've ever been in a situation where you intuitively knew, this person is not good for me, or this job is not right for me, or anything where you have felt this gut feeling of being directed in a situation where you either had to let go of something or something said yes within you. That's the intuition I'm talking about. You can implement that in your child's autism turnaround journey. There's a problem here. And the reason why you are not using that tool, that pillar, and why you're not seeing results is because you have a turnaround blocker in this field. You have a turnaround blocker that has to do with overwhelm in your brain. You are overwhelmed because you're stressed. You are so stressed when you're in this situation with your child and have this fear and feeling so hopeless and so overwhelmed that it's almost like being a soldier in a war zone. When you are in that state of stress, your brain knows, this is a survival state. I need to protect her from any more dangers. It does not care if you're going into a diet that's beneficial for your child's turnaround or a lifestyle change that's beneficial for your child's turnaround. Even if you join a mindset course, your brain will tell you, this is change. Change equals danger when you are in a state of survival. You are in a state of survival, I'll bet, but let's test it. We can test right now whether this failure mechanism in your brain will subconsciously and secretly, without you even noticing it, prevent you from experiencing success with your autism turnaround. So I want you to stand on one leg right now as we're talking. So stand up. I'm going to say, because I have to take you through this exercise. You just have to stand up in front of your computer or your phone. Now I want you to stand on one leg, close your eyes, make sure you're safe so that you don't bump into something. Close your eyes and then count. How many seconds can you stand on one leg with your eyes closed? So try to count. How many seconds can I stand on one leg with my eyes closed? Because you can determine whether you are currently blocking your autism turnaround or any turnaround and change in your life by telling me how many seconds you have been standing on one leg. If you are anything below 20 seconds, so between 20 and 30 seconds, you are in overwhelm. It means that your brain is so full and so overwhelmed that your balance is impaired, your processing is impaired, and your inner ear is affected by this stress. And when you're in this state of stress, it will be impossible for you to implement change. It will be impossible for you to take in new information and lifestyle changes and learn new things and turn this situation around. This shows that you're in PTSD, you're in a war zone. You need something very specific to fix this. If you are someone who wants to see real results and real changes, you cannot do that in a crisis, in a stressful situation, because it affects your breathing, it affects your heartbeat, it affects your digestion, it affects your detoxification pathways, it affects your immune system. It even affects your child's breathing, because the children mimic our breathing. This is the heartbreaking part of it. If we're stressed, our children read it. They start breathing like we are breathing. If I give a speech, if I give a talk and I'm up on stage and I'm breathing like a stressful maniac, everyone in the audience will start mimicking my breath, and they will tune into my vibration. They will feel as stressed as I do. It will impair their immune system, their detoxification process, their digestion. And it's the same thing that's happening to your child right now. So can you see how something is happening in your brain is right now preventing your child from digesting, detoxifying, regulating the immune system and the nervous system and the breathing, which also affect the heart rate variability, which it's an even more important precursor for all chronic diseases and all life-threatening diseases. This is so important. No one's telling you this. No one is telling you this, that you need to get into a peaceful state where you are breathing and you calm down your brain in order to change. So you might be thinking, I cannot sit down and do anything about my brain because I'm totally stressed, I'm totally overwhelmed, and I'm already doing too much. Anyone who can agree with that, I know that feeling so much. I do want to tell you, though, that the reason why you're overwhelmed, the reason why you're stressed is because, and the reason why you have no time even, is because you don't go to that place because you don't know how, you don't have the strategy to go to that place, to find peace. And that is the state where you find all the answers for your child. And it's also the state where you heal your child because you're healing yourself and you're tuning into the breath of healing and the heart and brain coherence, the parasympathetic nervous system, where your immune system, your detoxification pathways, and your digestion will be well regulated. You can't even lose weight when you're in this state. How do we think that we're going to lead the way for our children, understand our children, intuitively guide our children, and heal our children when we're in a state of panic? The other turnaround blocker that you might not know that you have, this is so frustrating. I wish everybody knew this. We have beliefs in our mind, in our system, that's not even our beliefs, but they're negative. You probably already got those beliefs delivered to you by the people who gave you the diagnosis, and they said there's nothing you can do. And you probably have a lot of negative beliefs that you have carried with you throughout your life, which has to do with what cannot be done, what you're not worthy of receiving, your limitations, your worthlessness. Those negative beliefs about what cannot be done and self-critical thinking and negative expectations is often something we inherited from our parents when we were between a newborn and until we were about 7 years old. We all repeat what we learned in that age because we were in a state of theta at that time, which is where we get hypnotized, and what we are hypnotized to believe, think, and feel about body, healing, self-love, connection to the heart, connection to the inner voice and the soul and nature, and our soul's calling, which basically none of us are taught in childhood. What we believe and learn to believe in childhood is what we are repeating throughout our lives. So you probably have a lot of negative thinking and negative beliefs when it comes to autism. Even though you want to turn this around, you might have fear and doubt that this is not possible for you. But that becomes reality. So science have shown again and again when studying the quantum field and quantum physics plus vibration and placebo, that what we believe becomes matter. If we believe we're sick, our DNA switches on mechanisms for breaking down the body. The immune system is impaired, and we start breaking down slowly. If we believe we are healing, if we're given a sugar pill and we believe it's healing us, the body starts activating repair mechanisms and healing mechanisms, and we can actually heal ourselves just by believing that this pill is curing me. And that is why getting into a mindset that supports that belief, getting into a state of mind where you can change that belief is crucial. And Stephanie is one that's been following this path with me for a while, not a long time, but some months now. She was on my podcast recently. You can go to my podcast on iTunes or on barefootautismwarriors.com and see and listen to that interview. She just wrote me, and this is a testimonial that she just wrote me and sent me via Messenger. She that I could use this. This is from the Mindset Course community, from the personal coaching group, which she's was part of. She said, I have great news to share with my fellow warrior mamas. My daughter is for the first time engaging in pretend play. I'm in disbelief as she plays with dolls, and her child was nonverbal beyond this process. So what I'm trying to say here, and what I want you to really feel hopeful and empowered by, is your belief, if you're only working on yourself, and that this is what I see again and again with moms in my tribe, can change your child without you even involving that child. Jane Babs, I think of her when I talk about these mindset shifts and what she says here about going through that process with me. For anyone who hasn't done this mindset strategy, do it. As an example, last night my son had an accident in the night and then was awake and hyper and screaming for hours. You all know that feeling, right? That frustration. I was so frustrated with my son's behavior and annoyed at my husband for giving in to his demands. I recognized that my mindset was slipping into a bad place, so I took time today to do the meditation, which is something I provide, and I feel so much better. I was able to turn it around, be patient and loving with my son and my husband, and enjoy my day. We need this, mamas. Do it for yourself. And if you've ever yelled at your child, felt frustrated at night, and then shameful afterwards, it is because you get so overwhelmed. Back to the brain failure mechanism. When the brain is in a state of fight and flight and stress, we do yell. We do lose patience. We do get frustrated. We do get angry and aggressive. We have no choice. It's what happens when it's just the amygdala trying to protect us from harm. It's like a reptile. It's like a reptile reaction. We have no ability to think long-term and make long-term decisions and be resourceful. And I want you to get back to that resourceful place.